Hola a todos, espero que nos escuchen bien. Estamos aquí con Cecilia Valdenea y nos va a dar una presentación acerca de cómo hacer tu personal statement y probablemente nos va a hablar un poquito de Southampton también. Cualquier pregunta que lleguen a tener nos la pueden dejar en el chat. Vamos a dar tiempo al final para que podamos responderlas todas. Si tienen algún problema con el audio, nos pueden decir, por favor, también poner el chat y cualquier cosa estamos aquí al pendiente. Eh, pues gracias por acompañarnos y bienvenidos. Vamos a comenzar.
Hi, everyone. Thank you for joining us today. Can everybody hear us fine? I just want to make sure that everybody is listening to us. Yes? Excellent. So today I'll talk to you about applying to study in the UK and specifically about how to write a personal statement and some tips and examples that might be helpful. And then I'll give a small presentation about Southampton. And please, if you have any questions, write them or leave them on the comment box. Great. So why would you choose the UK as a destination for your postgraduate studies? So the UK has very high quality education. 1 in 7 world leaders has been educated in the UK. Also, all of the programs are research led. And they focus on small group teaching. Also, the UK qualifications are recognized and respected throughout the world. Plus, British universities and colleges provide a very multicultural, diverse, creative, and innovative environment. It's very likely that if you study your master's in the UK, you're going to have classmates from all over the world, such as, let's say, the University of Southampton has 26,000 students, from which 7,000 are international students from over 140 countries. So it's very likely that you'll get classmates from different countries. So there are a lot of things that you should consider while doing research for a program or a university, including choosing a subject that you enjoy or that you enjoy spending time, since you will be investing. If you're studying a master's, a whole year of your life, money, and effort. You have to think about if this program will be good for your career path. What do you want to achieve from this? How are you hoping to apply this knowledge into your career? What do you want to get out of this program? And plus the geography, the location, transport links, everything that will be part of your life once you've made a decision about that place is also something to consider. Also, study style that suits you. Studying in the UK is very different compared to, let's say, Mexico. We're used to memorizing lots of things. In the UK, educational system forces you to develop analytical or critical thinking. So the study style is very, very different. You have very few hours of class, but then in terms of investing time for your studies, let's say for 1 hour, 2 hours of classes, you're going to spend, I don't know, 10, 12 hours reading. So there's a lot of autonomous learning. So that's something to consider as well when you're doing research about a program. Also, something to consider is the extracurricular activities to take part in that the university offers. So I don't know, if you're planning to study, let's say in Southampton, there's a lot of water sports related from the university that you can take part of. But let's say if you go to Manchester or Sheffield, the Peak District is quite close. So depending on what other extracurricular activities you would like to take part on, that each university offers. So what would be the requirements to apply for a UK university? You would have to have your university diploma with a Mexican licenciatura with a minimum grade of 8, and it's official translation, sorry, by a certified translator. You would need your transcripts and official translation to English. You would need 2 reference letters, can be from an academic or employers, or both academics or both employers. And you would also need an English requirement test. Each university has different requirements, but most likely you'll be asked to provide either an IELTS or an IBT TOEFL, Pearson, and a personal statement. Have you ever written a personal statement before? Have you? Yes? Good. It's like a carta motivos, right, in Spanish. So I will give you certain guidelines that I think are quite useful when writing a personal statement. So first of all, what's a personal statement? A personal statement is your only chance to sell yourself as an individual, to show the course providers, the admissions team, why you want to study in this course in the UK. It's a short reflective essay where you write about why you're the perfect candidate for this either postgraduate program or, let's say, a PhD if you're planning to do research. So this is your chance of showing. You're not going to see them face to face, so this is the chance you have to sell yourself to the admissions team. So personal statement should be maximum 4,000 words, minimum 1,000 words. It's very important to stay within this guidelines and not to go over it, because then imagine that the admissions team, they read thousands and thousands or hundreds of applications. So it's really important to maintain within these guidelines, because if it's too long, it could be a bit difficult to follow. So the most important part, I think, is planning a personal statement. So beforehand, before you start writing, you need to brainstorm. You need to show that you have done your research of the UK university courses, why you're planning to apply to these courses. Let's say if you have 3 options, you've done your research, you've read all the modules that are available, the topics that you'll be covering, what is it that it interests you or it attracts you from other universities, what makes these courses unique. Deciding on what relevant material to include in your personal statement. So it's really important to show the admissions team that you're a good fit for this program, that you have experience, that you have knowledge in this area. But it's important to also show just the important bits or the relevant bits. Also, it's easy if you write a first draft and then you edit it from that one. You can start adding other thoughts and other ideas, or you can even show it to your friends or family or other colleagues that might add comments on it. So you don't have to get it right on the first time. So a personal statement should content that you're suited for the course, that you're motivated and dedicated, that you have relevant knowledge and experience gained from either education, work, volunteering, or other activities that show evidence that you know what you're getting yourself into. You know about the area that you're planning to study. It shows also that you understand the demands of the course and how you will fit into the university environment. So before we start to write, I would like to everybody invite yourselves to think about a couple of questions. So what skills have you developed throughout your academic achievements and extracurricular activities? Which skills on the right are relevant for your course? I will show you a list. And how can you demonstrate evidence of these skills in your personal statement? So let's say I have this list of skills. Let's say I have developed logical thinking, leadership skills, organization, communicational skills, teamwork, time management, dedication, independent working. You need to show evidence of specific examples of what you've done. Either I was a team leader in my class when I was studying my undergraduate studies, and I organized this event, which shows that you're good at organization and leadership skills, communication. So you need to provide evidence of examples that you or activities that you've carried out that show that you possess the skills. So what personal qualities make you a valuable asset? What experiences have shaped your present character? What are your proudest accomplishments? Was there any turning point where you realized what you wanted to do in life, what you wanted to study? What would you choose yourself over other candidates? What makes you unique? What makes you special? You need to show the committee that you're really good at this and that you're passionate, but talk about specific experiences. So let's say, I don't know, if you got the best average grade in your undergraduate studies, or if you accomplished any kind of scholarship before, or a grant, or talk about my summer studying in this university, or as an exchange student, or volunteering, any kind of experience that you can talk about that might serve as an example, or as evidence that you've gained this experience that has led for you to acquire these skills. So I'll leave you a couple of other questions that might also help. I believe we'll send you this presentation, right? Yeah. We're gonna send them down. Okay. So don't worry about writing everything down. We'll send you this presentation as well. So another aspect that's important to consider while you're writing your personal statement is you need to demonstrate or talk about how will this program directly impact your future, what you're hoping to achieve from this, what is your ultimate career goal, what's your plan for the next couple of years, 5 years, maybe midterm, long term. What are the steps I need to take in order to reach my ultimate goal? Are there other goals I hope to accomplish along the way? Maybe you could include how this master's or this PhD can help you along how this program might align with your career goals. So here are a couple of skills or a couple of words that might be useful when writing your personal statement. Let's say this volunteering experience, proof that I am reliable, that I am committed to work, that I'm good at teamwork. So there's lots of different aspects that you can demonstrate with your experience that you've acquired certain skills, right? I'm confident and I work well with unfamiliar environments, or skills that you think are useful for your master's, for your program. So yes, you need to think about yourself, how you're unique, or how you're special. What is it about you that's different from all the other candidates? Maybe provide details about your certain situations in your life that have given you like a better understanding of what you want to do. If you're overcome any initial obstacles, personal characteristics or personal traits that might make you unique, and that might make the admissions committee want to choose you. So this is an outline that might help you when writing your personal statement. I'll provide another example at the end. So we'll need to start with an introduction, academic achievements, another paragraph about work experience, employment, volunteering opportunities, another one about extracurricular activities, your awards or accomplishments, and a conclusion at the end. So this is an outline of how you would write your introduction. So the first sentence is the most important one because it is a sentence that will get the committee's attention, right? So you want to choose something that's captivating, that is going to attract their attention, that will make them want to read the rest of your personal statement, right? So you need to be descriptive. Yeah, mention relevant experience, or think of a catchy phrase that will make them want to read more. It's important that you expose your motivation behind wanting to pursue a postgraduate program. What are your interests about this subject area? What aspirations do you have further to your university study? Maybe you can talk about a specific experience that made you realize you wanted to become either an engineer, or in my case, I'm a linguist. So I talked about the first time I learned a word. I learned a word in French that made me wanted to learn more about other languages. So talk about an experience that provides evidence that you're passionate about what you want to do. So let's say, what inspired you to study your chosen subject? My desire to understand the nature of reality has inspired me to apply for physics and philosophy. That's already, it has, it's not like I really like nature, so I wanted to study physics, right? So think about a way where you can write your sentence that will make them want to read more. Was there a formative moment where your perspective on the subject changed, or when you decided you wanted to study the subject in more detail? An example, my interest in philosophy was awakened when I questioned my childhood religious beliefs regarding Blackbird's think, convinced me to scrutinize my assumptions about the world, and to ensure I could justify my beliefs. So depending on your area, either you might want to write about environmental studies, or my desire to improve pollution in my city has helped me, or has awakened my desire to deepen my knowledge in this area, right? Can you point to any role models, leading thinkers, or notable literature which has in turn affected your thinking and or inspired you? So you might talk about a specific author, a book, or an experience, or a Nobel laureate, somebody that has inspired you, that might have affected your wanting to pursue a master's. Another example, my passion for the environment has perhaps come from the fact that I have lived in 5 different countries: France, England, Spain, Sweden, Costa Rica, moving at the age of 15 from Sweden, a calm and organized country, to Costa Rica, more diverse and slightly chaotic country, was a shock for me at first and took me out of my comfort zone. Also, living in Costa Rica, one of the most biodiverse countries in the world, definitely helped me realize how vulnerable the world is and how we need to take care of it in a sustainable manner. So you see, he's talking about his experience, and it goes from something very general to very specific. So think about, or brainstorm while you're thinking about when was it that I decided to study this the first time, or my passion in this area made me realize I wanted to pursue studies in this area. You can start brainstorming and just write it down as a list, and then kind of start shaping your text. So the second paragraph that I would choose would be your academic experiences. So maybe detail experiences relevant to your program and motivations described in introduction. So maybe talk about 3 experiences in your paragraph, and then finalize your paragraph articulating how these experiences have shaped you. So let's say when I was studying my undergraduate, I took this module on linguistics, and my favorite topic was social linguistics because it helped me understand the relationship between society and language. And I wanted to deepen my knowledge on this area. And that's why I decided to study this. Or it made me realize of this problem and this problem that I was not aware before. So maybe talk about 2 or 3 experiences that have provided you with these skills, or your desire of acquiring these skills. Can you demonstrate critical and independent thinking around your chosen subject or discipline? Let's say an example can be, currently I'm studying maths and economics in addition to geography. Economics has been a valuable tool providing the nuts and bolts to economic processes, and my geography has provided a spatial and temporal element. So say what, let's say, areas or what subjects or topics when you were studying your undergraduate, or when you first encounter a topic that you were really passionate, you wanted to expand the knowledge on. So you need to demonstrate that you know about what you've studied, right? In my case, I was really intrigued by, again, me as a linguist, I was really intrigued about first and second language acquisition processes. So I learned about this theory and this theory that made me wanted to deepen my knowledge in this area and then see it in my context in Mexico. Or so something that demonstrates either theory or specific topics that you find interesting. Are you able to demonstrate skills and competences which will be necessary for university study? This include qualities such as teamwork, time management, an ability to organize workload responsibly. If you were, let's say, studying your undergraduate and then volunteering at this, this shows evidence that, or this is a good example that I can work well with my time management, that I'm good at organizing, events, or that I can separate or balance my workload with my personal life, because studying in the UK can be quite demanding, but it's not all about studying, right? So you need to demonstrate how you will be a good fit for, again, to study another master's or a PhD. You need to show competence and skills that will help you in your program. So let's say another example might be, throughout my academic life, I have shown myself to be a responsible student as well as a hardworking one, despite the fact that I have had to move around a lot. I achieved several other accomplishments, such as a high A in Spanish at age 15, and also complete a Spanish course of secondary studies, which is a system for Costa Rica. Well, just an example, right? But let's say when I was still studying my undergraduate, I managed to get a job position in this area, or to volunteer in this area, or you need to provide examples where you talk good about the things that you've accomplished in the academic aspect. Third paragraph might be about work experience, employment, volunteering. I write about any skills that you have gained from work experience, employment, volunteer opportunities, and how these experiences prepare you for university study. So either if you've joined a club or a society or volunteering that can show personal traits such as teamwork, interest in community service, ability to manage your time proactively. If you've been elected or nominated as either a team captain or head of a club or a society, or that might highlight that you have leadership skills, the ability to project manage. If you've been awarded with either a scholarship or a grant or any prizes, if you're good at anything that you're good at, either playing a sport or so it's not just about, it might seem that's not very relevant to put in a personal statement that you play a sport, but it's about the transferable skills that you acquire from one area that you can apply in another one, right? Such as teamwork. Maybe if you've achieved any grades or qualifications that might help you demonstrate that you are a good fit for this program, or that you're hardworking. So yeah, mention any other achievements that you have had as extracurricular activities, or demonstrate that you have relevant skills for the course you're applying to. So An example might be another valuable experience was when my class spent a week at a beach called Bacuare in order to help prevent the eggs of the endangered leatherback turtle from being stolen by poachers who go on to sell them like chicken eggs. We all gained teamwork experience, which was needed in order to hide the eggs silently without scaring the mother turtles, as well as making it more difficult for the poachers to find them. So in this case, this person is talking about how the teamwork and how careful they were with this procedure helped them to have a positive outcome, right? So it just shows an example that this experience has given me this, that I will apply it in my program like this. The conclusion is a brief summary of everything that you've mentioned. So why should you be offered a place in this program, in this university? You need to show the admissions tutor that all of the good things that you have without sounding cocky, without sounding arrogant, because you're providing evidence and examples, and you have to leave them with a good impression. Example, after having many varied experiences, I truly think I can contribute to the university in a positive way. And I would love to study in England, where I believe I would gain more skills and education during a first degree than in any other country, right? So you need to show, to close your paragraph with a good impression, saying in brief or in conclusion, I would like to be considered for this program because I believe I possess the necessary skills or abilities that would contribute to not just the program, but back in my country when I finish, or what you want to achieve afterwards. So this is another design of another outline. First paragraph, why are you a good fit for this program? Second paragraph, expand thoughts on the first paragraph. What is my purpose? Why is this program? What are you hoping to achieve from this? How are you going to apply it afterwards? Third and fourth paragraph, if you need a scholarship, why are you applying for a scholarship? How are you planning to use this graduate study in my career? How are you going to, let's say, benefit? If I'm granted with this scholarship, I'm going to go back to my country and applying in this area, and I believe it would benefit my community because I will be enhancing this area. Fifth and sixth paragraph, strong statement on how I can contribute to the program and how it will help in my career goals. So what you're hoping to achieve from this. So there's no specific guideline that everybody should follow. I believe these two are good examples on how you could develop or how you can structure it. And yeah, I would like to go for the do's and don'ts of writing a personal statement. Try to not quote other people. Try to use your own ideas. Try not to be cliche, like I think if I study medicine, I will save the world. You know, be realistic, something that you think it's actually achievable. Yeah, plagiarism and lies are not good in a personal statement. So every personal statement goes through this system, and if the system checks that there's a paragraph or a line that's just exactly the same as another one, it would come off as a red flag, and you probably won't be accepted. So nowadays you can find lots and lots and lots of examples of writing of personal statements on the internet. I'm not saying it's I think it's really good for you to read a couple of them so you can see examples. And I actually have done that myself. I like the way he closed this, but more as a guideline. Try not to copy or write things that are obviously not true. Like, oh yes, I got a perfect score of 10 in my undergraduate, which I think it's possible, but just, things that are, don't go for lies if you're trying to look your personal statement look better. Just, even if it's a small experience, but if it's true, it's going to be better than if you lie on something that's like really big. Yeah, try to stay away from negative comments. Let's say I remember on my personal statement for the PhD, I wrote that initially I had written that my research skills weren't really good, or that were still, I wrote something like, yeah, although my research skills are not as good as I wanted to, and then I rewrote my sentences there. Although my research skills are still developing, so yeah, something that, you know, can be written, something negative can be written into a different way to show, yeah, they're still developing because I want them to be better, yeah, instead of saying that they're not good. So try to pay attention in the words, like sort of lexical items that you use, the words, to make it seem more positive. Yeah, do's right from the heart, define a central idea, highlight your strong points, include your interests and goals, tell a story, be honest. I think telling a story, it's a good tip because you can talk about a specific 2 or 3 examples or something that happened that made you want to be passionate on this topic. Don't try to write, again, a novel. Try to stay focused of why is it that you want to tell this story. That's going to lead you to, oh, this is why I'm a good candidate, or this is why I'm passionate on this topic. In my case, I wrote about my grandma told me, I mean, I was a kid, but she told me that a person was as smart as the number of languages that person spoke. And it just stuck. It just, you know, it stuck to me in my head. And whenever I learned another language, I thought of my grandma, and that's how my passion for languages started. So even though it's not true and different skills, whatever. So I showed with one small example why I became passionate on this topic. So other tips, yeah, I mentioned tell a story, use a story to illustrate the point that you really want to express. Stories are easier to remember than straight facts, and this will make the committee members remember you. Give supporting details. If you mention in your personal statement that you will be a great doctor because you're hardworking, then you'll have to provide proof. Let's say, I'm very passionate about languages. I got certified in 5 languages. That's an example of you're providing, yeah, proof, right? Of why you're saying this. If you say you're hardworking, if you say you're committed, you need to show proof of why you're saying this. Don't be afraid to show them how much you know, which is good. They want somebody that's interested in the area enough to know about it. Avoid certain subjects such as controversial topics, religion, politics, overly personal experiences, extreme hardships, family problems. Yeah, if you're talking about a difficult experience that made you be more committed or more passionate about a topic, it's good. Just try not to go into too much detail. Yeah, the universities will take all these things into account when they're reviewing your application, a personal statement, the references, the qualifications, the admissions test results, interviews, portfolios, auditions. Some programs require an addition or a portfolio if you're studying architecture. You'll either get an unconditional offer, which means that you're absolutely accepted in the program. Conditional offer, let's say sometimes you're missing your language requirement or one reference letter, or unsuccessful. Yeah, these are other things to consider once you're accepted in the program. Yeah, the English language requirements are very important. You need to have this test valid. It needs to be not older than 2 years. Yeah, you need to take consideration the immigration, the visa process, finance, travel, if you're going to fly to the UK, how much the flight would cost, accommodation. So I'll talk a little bit about the University of Southampton. And if you have any questions at the end regarding specific questions about the university, the program, or the personal statement, we can discuss them in the end. So the University of Southampton was founded in 1862 as a Hartley Institute, is the founding member of the Russell Group. For those of you who aren't familiar with the Russell Group, it's like the Ivy League universities in the US, but from the UK. So we're ranked 86 as the best university in the world. We have over 26,000 students now from over 7,000 international students from over 130 countries. We have 7 campuses, including one in Malaysia. We have another one in Winchester. And we cover lots of different areas. We don't cover dentistry, veterinary, and architecture, but we have a lot of our programs ranked in the top 10, and some of them ranked in the top 5. When you are looking for a university and the rankings, although the universities have overall rankings of the whole university, I would strongly recommend looking into subject-specific rankings. So let's say urbanism, if you want to study a master's in urbanism, urbanism top 10 universities, or electrical engineering top 10 masters. And they'll give you a list of all the rankings from that year. And obviously this rankings change every year. So yeah, it's very interesting how the UK educational system works. It's very different than the one here in Mexico. I think in the UK, students are more much in control. There's a lot of autonomous learning going on, different to what I've experienced here in Mexico and in some other countries. So students have the option to take modules outside their area of study. The university offers language courses for free for all of our master's students. So let's say if you want to study Russian, I actually took Russian when I was studying my master's. There's Arabic, there's French, Portuguese, Chinese. We have a Confucius Institute as well. The university is for free for everyone. What else? So our campus is very interesting. It doesn't look like much here, but we have the main library, we have a club, we have 2 bars, we have cinema, we have a sports center, we have a swimming pool, we have like 3 or 4 banks, have coffee shops, a bookshop, a theater, a concert hall. Something that was really, well, for me was something new to have a bar at the university, a pub. It's usually cheaper. The cinema as well is way cheaper than outside. So let's say, I don't know, a movie ticket can cost 13, 12 pounds, whereas in the cinema from the university is like 4 pounds. And they have like the same movies. So yeah. Our university has ties with lots of different companies, such as Rolls-Royce, Formula One. So with lots of different companies, lots of different banks, where let's say if you were planning to either get working experience, you can apply with our Career Advice Center for an internship in one of the companies that we have ties with, or maybe you can do your research project in one of these companies. And we have over 180 societies. So we have lots of different clubs. They call it clubs or societies, but let's say if you're interested in sports, we have a swimming, a sailing, football, squash, tennis, mountaineering, any kind of sport that you can think of. We even have a Quidditch club, like the Harry Potter sport. But there's also lots of cultural societies, like the Japanese society. There's a Mexican society. Last year we made a piñata contest for the Posada. We made Pan de Muerto. We made lots of different activities. But anyway, as you can see, there's even volunteer opportunities. There's Fish and Toast, which is this club or society that helps students develop their like entrepreneurship skills. So let's say if you have an idea for a business or a project, this specific club kind of helps you develop it into a business. And we have professionals in the club as well. So we guarantee accommodation for all of our international students as long as you apply before or by August the 1st. These are just some pictures of our university. We have here on the top on the left the library. Ooh. And then we have some other pictures of the library. We have a ship which is from the university, and they use it for research. This is how the Southampton docks look. And as a fun fact, the Titanic left the Southampton docks in 1912. So we have a museum about the Titanic as well, Cecily Museum. Southampton was named the 3rd this year. The rankings were just updated. One of the 3rd best cities to live in the UK as a student, and one of the most affordable student cities in the UK. It's one of the sunniest and warmest cities in the UK. I know the sun in the UK doesn't seem like it should go in the same sentence, but last year we had 3 whole months of sunshine, no rain, so it's really nice. And by the water as well. We're the cruise ship capital of Europe. We're just over an hour from London by train. We have a very nice and modern shopping mall. We also have lots of cultural events going on. We have a theater. We have lots of festivals. We have a stadium if you're into football. We have the Southampton Saints as a team. And there's lots of activities that you can do as a day trip, such as a New Forest, which is like 20-25 minutes. It's right next to Winchester. It's just nice, a medieval city. We actually have a campus there as well for all of our art programs. And then we have the Isle of Wight, and we have beaches, sandy beaches that are really nice within 20-25 minutes from Southampton. So I hope you enjoyed the presentation, and I don't know if anybody has any questions. Well,
let me see if they reply over here.
I can provide you my contact details, and if you have any questions, I'm happy to either have a Skype call if you're not based in Mexico City, or meet. And I also have a couple of examples that you could use as a guideline, but I believe that we'll send you the presentation. And yeah, is that it? Well, thank you everybody who joined us, and here at the office as well.
No questions?
And no?
No, not for now.
19 people, no questions?
Oh, did they just say thank you?
Oh, great.
Lisa is saying thank you. David Sanchez is saying thank you as well.
Thank you. Thank you for joining us. And I think I didn't have my contact details in this presentation, but I will leave them here. Where is it? Here.
Another thank you.
Oh.
You must have been very clear.
She was.
So, oh, great. How can I mark this in?
Invite?
No, you just go to the color, yeah?
Yes, exactly.
Right. Yes.
Okay, so that's my email address. If you have any questions, I'm happy to, either about the university specific programs, requirements, deadlines, I'm happy to help. And along with our colleagues from Inova, who are really, really helpful. And I'm sure they'll be more than happy to check into specific questions you might have. But if not, then thank you everybody for joining us.
Jessica Lopez also says thank you for the information. It is very helpful.
Great. I'm glad. I hope it was useful. Great.